Thank you. I'm going to start this show differently today. Do you feel that the girl child has gotten too much focus? Be sure about your answer, DJD.
No.
Not enough. It's never going to be enough,
Yeah,
is it?
never enough.
Until we get to gender equality 50-50. But anyway, I'm going to throw this now to the audience very cleanly. Guys, how do you feel? Do you think the girl child has gotten too much focus and the boy child has been ignored?
Yes.
I knew it. Of course you all are going to say that. I have actually, that is the biggest complaint about this show. Every single time we talk about girls or we do issues to do with women or geared towards that particular demographic, I always get tweets, I get text messages, Kobi, what about us? What about the boy child? What about men? And it's true, all right? In today's society, it's really important that we have a sense of balance. So today, I am dedicating this show to the boy child. All right, the second guest is a girl, and we love her, all right? And she's working really hard. But this first part of the show, we are dedicating it to the boy child. There is something amazing that's happening, courtesy of Caritas, which is an amazing, amazing project that's focusing on the boy child. We'll be speaking about that in just a second. But quickly, why do you think, my brother with a tie, I like how you dress. Why do you think the boy child has been, is it unfair?
It's unfair.
Tell me why.
Statistics from the past KCP exams,
Yeah.
only 4 boys made it to the top 20 exams. What I'm saying is that, yes, I even love my mother. I don't hate women. It is, we want it, the society now wants it to be like boys 30%, women 70%, not 50-50.
No,
If you
but
wanted-
it's still not even anywhere near 50-50.
If you wanted 50-50, then we'll have to favor both sides. Because there is a boy in Turkana somewhere, in Masai land, who does not go to school the same way as a girl somewhere else. So we have to focus on all of them. We should not just focus on one side and neglect the other. It will bring another problem in the near future. We'll have to establish another affirmative action for men. So I don't support anything close to, for example, the affirmative actions of this world, the nominations, no.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you know where we are in Parliament, just in terms of national representation? Where are we? Is it 50-50 in Parliament? Mm-hmm.
No. Currently in Parliament, we have, at least there is a large number of women who are elected.
No. Is it equal?
No.
Why?
It can't be equal.
Why?
It
So
will
you're
nev-
asking, oh, this
it
is
will
such a
never be
broken
equal.
story. Huh?
It will never be equal.
Okay.
That's how the society is structured to be. Nothing can be equal.
That's crazy.
It has to be 60-50, because women, you are a lot. When they are,
Your argument started so well.
when they are voter registration, sort of such things, women are encouraged to go and register. Then why then when Mother Karua stood for the election, the professor the other day when we were here,
Yeah.
she said that she was very disappointed when Abdu Badida defeated Mother Karua, a seasoned politician. Why could women come out and vote for her? So what I'm saying that I appreciate women who come out, seek for votes, and not seek to be nominated.
Yeah.
That's what I'm against. If women are voted and we are all equal, 50 members, 20 governors who are men, 27 governors who are female, I will be okay.
Really?
But let's not nominate women just to balance the equation.
Clap for this guy. I think he's got a point. A point, all right? It is, I think, one of the most contentious conversations globally, all right? Kenya is not unique to this, and really there is a lot of effort that has happened in really trying to realize that balance. It's a tough one, all right? But listen, we're going to be telling you very shortly about a project that you need to get involved in. Before we do, and before my great guests come out here, let us pay attention, close attention to the boy child. Take a look at this Dream Big story. Frederick Douglass said it is easier to build strong children than to repair broken men. And that is exactly what this amazing project, the Beacon Boys Project, says in terms of leading this amazing campaign. This morning, Maryann Sambigi and Martin Mburu are here to highlight what exactly is going on the ground in Kenya. Come out here, guys. How are you?
Very well.
Excellent, Martin. Thanks so much for being here.
And thank you for having us
This
here.
is so contentious. Maryann, a pleasure.
Thanks,
Thanks
Kobi.
so much for being here. Have a seat, guys.
Have a seat, please.
Asante sana. Yes, there's still a lady in this conversation, which I like.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, this is like it. We have 2 against 1, but it's all right.
Oh, no, never. We're going to, I'm here as a moderator. In actual fact, if you look at the stage, you're 3 against 1. Wow. We have our DJ there, DJ D. All right, how are you guys today?
Very well.
Excellent.
Very well.
Excellent. Maryann, let's start with you. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do for Caritas.
Okay. My name is Maryann Sambigi, working at Caritas, Nairobi, as Gender and Youth Development Coordinator.
Okay. And Martin, tell us a little bit about you.
At the moment, I'm an educationist. I run a boys' school. It's called the Corner Brooke School.
Okay.
Previously, I have had a career in marketing, but now I concentrate on this school and especially on the boy child.
Okay.
Yes.
We'll talk a little bit about the school and the programs that the boys undertake there. Caritas are not known to many people in terms of especially the intervention programs. Give us a background, Maryann.
Thank you, Kobi. It's true that many people do not understand what Caritas is.
Yeah.
And actually, many think that Caritas is an acronym, but this is not true. Caritas is a full name meaning charity or love. And so Caritas is the NGO for the Catholic Church. It's international. And within the country, we do have the national office. And after the national office, every diocese in Kenya has a Caritas. Okay. We do have 26 dioceses, so in every one of them, we have a Caritas office. And the Caritas office acts as the NGO of the church.
Okay.
So at Caritas Nairobi, which is the Archdiocese of Nairobi, we do have various interventions because, again, every Caritas is autonomous, depending on the area of the diocese where they are placed. And so they respond to the needs of the particular diocese.
Okay.
The Archdiocese of Nairobi serves 2 counties, Nairobi and Kiambu.
Okay.
And so within those 2 counties, we do have various needs. And at Caritas Nairobi, we have narrowed them down to 5 programs, one of which is microfinance, where people have savings and access to credit, investments and all. But then we do have another one called Relief Program.
Okay.
Caritas Nairobi responds to the needs of refugees, people living with disabilities, areas that are vulnerable to chaos, especially during election times and that kind of times.
Okay.
And so the relief program responds to needs within that kind of group.
Fantastic.
And then we do have another program, agriculture. Like I said, we work in Kiambu. And so in Kiambu, we have places which are semi-arid and people are going hungry. You can't believe that in Kiambu.
Wow.
And so we respond to the needs by bringing in new technologies of farming. We bring in, for example, dairy farming for animals that can work within certain areas.
Okay.
And really encouraging people to have food security.
Okay.
Then we do have another one for capacity building. We work a lot with groups in churches, and we do need them to take care of their own groups for all these other activities that I've mentioned.
Yeah.
And so a lot of trainings are needed so that they can manage their groups.
That's a very well-rounded program.
Yes,
And
yes.
then there's, of course, gender and youth.
And now gender and youth.
And this is why you're here.
And under gender and youth, we take care of all these gender groups.
Okay.
Yes, including the disabled, the boy child.
Yes.
Imagine that.
That's the
a woman
focus
is
today.
taking care
So
of the boy
listen, yeah,
child.
there you go, guys. That's your answer. Clap for Maryann.
Beautiful.
Yeah, thank you, Maryann. All right, Martin, for you, coming from a marketing background and decided to get into education and focus on the boy child, what motivated you?
It's actually a long story.
It's okay.
Before I came into the school,
Yeah.
I used to be associated with groups that were helping children in education.
Yeah.
And then I singled out the boys because I could see they were getting a little bit disadvantaged. And over the time, there was already enough effort being done on the girl child. And I didn't tell you in the beginning, I'm actually married, and it's important to know that I'm actually married to a woman wife. I always say that. And I have 3 children, and all of them are daughters.
Really?
So I am a father of 3 daughters.
Wonderful.
And although I did not have sons, in future, I probably have sons.
Yes, you
So I keep
will.
on wondering, what kind of sons are going to be drawn home?
Yeah.
So maybe this is also a way of improving on the sons.
That's great.
Over the time I did this, we would pay school fees for boys. We would help the non-homed boys. And then I thought, how can I take part a little bit in a bigger way? And that's when I came into the issue of education. And I thought maybe I help a lot of kids into other schools. Maybe if I put them together, I could even look after them in a better way.
Right.
So close to about 10 years ago, I established the Corner Brooke School for boys. And before you do that, you do some sort of due diligence, you check with people and tell people I'm starting this school. And I can tell you the truth, Kobi. Even my closest friends, running institutions, in banking, we would talk business, and then they would say, by the way, Martin, why boys' school? Why don't you go to an easy business? Why don't you just start a girls' school?
Yeah.
They will never ban your school. They will never abuse you. They are nice people.
It's an easy way out.
You're going into a boys' school, mark my words, in 2 years' time, your school will burn down.
Wow.
Well, I must say they have tried twice, but they haven't quite gotten to that, but that does not discourage me.
Yes.
So the reason I went to the school is to have them more and to learn more about the boys.
Okay.
But unfortunately, I was still working. So about 6-7 years down the line, I decided it's time now to embark on this full-time. So I'm full-time with the boys. I have a lot of programs with them individually in terms of discipline, in terms of family backgrounds, in terms of where they come from. And I can tell you it's amazing when you talk to the boys. Because I was listening to another song, about everybody's talking about boy child now.
Yeah.
And this song was saying, you're talking about boys smoking, you're talking about boys in alcohol, you're talking about boys in general drugs, you're talking about boys in violence. You have not asked yourself, why? And that's very important. So I keep on wanting to understand, you particular one, why are you in drugs?
Right.
You particular one, why are you like this? And you go back to the background in the families, and it's amazing what you get. So I'm using that as a platform to sort of get more details. This also gives me an opportunity to get involved a lot with youth programs, especially with boys. I talk to lots of schools, I talk to a lot of boys' schools. Now, what is more interesting is now my role in talking to parents. Because you can't talk to boys alone. You've got to go talk to their parents.
Of course.
Both the mothers and fathers, and especially the fathers. Because the ones we call boy children will finally be a reflection of whatever fatherhood sort of they had in their childhood. So you also want to go backwards. Now, something very interesting. The fathers that we have today of these boy children are our former boy children.
True.
Now, what kind of software were they given to run this new program with this new boy with? And I keep on equating them with our current drivers on the roads.
Yeah.
If you drive, let's say, on the Thika superhighway, you see a driver driving on the right-hand side of the road, driving at 50 kilometers an hour, blocking everybody, while they should be on the left-hand side. You beckon them and tell them, come on to this, and she's, or he is very genuinely asking you, what do you mean? That's the way they were taught to drive. The current fathers may not have been taught properly the way of looking after their sons, and therefore they have not, and therefore the sons are how they are. So we are now getting to talk to the fathers, and it's a very interesting debate when I talk to what we call fathers and sons sessions.
Right.
One of the things I know is I think fathers are not talking to them enough, and they don't mind. Because also the boy has been brought up in a very particular way, and one of them is to say, boys don't need guidance.
Right.
They have an auto system. They are men. They are born men.
Yeah.
They are hard. They don't cry. They don't feel pain. They don't feel lonely.
Tough enough.
They're tough enough.
Yeah.
But girls are nice,
And
tender.
vulnerable and soft.
And if you have a son and a girl, if the girl comes at 6 o'clock, you really want to know, where were you, who were you with, what were you doing, what time, and can I smell you? When a boy rocks in, at 8 o'clock, he's told, John, you've come, who are you with?
Yeah.
And they're comfortable. And there's a problem there. Because we think boys cannot get into trouble.
It is a mentorship that needs to happen. I think before we take a break, it's so important that we speak about the research that was undertaken before this project was launched. Maryann, maybe perhaps you can tell us that. By focusing on the girl child globally for so long, what have we done to the boy child, and how do we start to rein back, or at least start to fill some of those gaps?
Thanks, Kobi. It's true that this goes back to our history.
Yeah.
And like you said, rightfully, we had a season where everybody felt that the girl child was truly in a very disadvantaged position.
Right.
And so all these girl child empowerment programs came on board. And they're good. And we've had nice things that we can report about because girls have proved themselves where they were thought they could never be.
Absolutely. And this is global. It's not unique to Kenya.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And really, it was about the gender focus where we felt that the girl child had to come on board, had to be balanced so that at least they could access what the boy child was getting without lots of problems.
Talk to me about that access. What is that access to? It's access to education.
Access to education, access to decision making, because they couldn't do anything. Right. Where you'd find women being forced to leave their children, their girl children, home to take care of others or to take care of the chores while the boy child went to school. And really, there were so many imbalances. And that's why we are suffering even today. When we talk about the women in leadership, and you asked a very good question, how is it now? Because in the last general elections, it was 40 governors and 0 women.
Yeah, absolutely.
And look at it now. What is happening? The women have come forcefully, and they are doing much more than anyone ever thought. Okay. Meaning that there's great potential. So there were good things that were happening. And today we are having this conversation because, again, something has happened somewhere.
Right.
I don't like using the word neglect.
Okay.
When we say that the boy child has been neglected.
Yeah, it's a big, strong word.
I don't like using that word, Kobi, because they've not actually been neglected. All the right positions are still in place for them. And so for me, I look at it differently, and I look at the family fabric, for example, and I look at it because there's so many things that used to happen to keep the family together, to give everyone a position, to give everybody a role and a responsibility.
Right.
But today, there's so much that is happening in our society. People are working far and apart as couples. So the mother, for example, is left home with the children.
Yeah.
I have 2 boys and 1 girl. Yeah. So I have my 2 boys and the father is away.
Yeah.
I don't know any other way except to nurture as a mother. But I have the 2 boys. And unless the father comes and nurtures them and guides them, then I may not do much.
Right.
So what has happened? In the olden days, an uncle or another male figure would come and fill in that gap. Today, there's nothing. A child used to belong to the society.
True.
Today, this is my child.
Yeah.
You tell me...
And that child has rights too.
Exactly.
Yeah, and they'll tell you about their own rights. Yeah.
That reminds me of one of my friends who was telling me how his 4-year-old son asked, why do you keep sending me for these diapers? You know, I can bring the whole pack and you use them until you're done. Then I can return them in the evening. Right. You know, because they realize that they also have their rights. Yeah. But coming back to this, there's so much that has affected the family setup. And the male figure is absent. And that's it. Okay. I think the problem with the boy child is absence of the male figure.
All right. Guys, give these 2 wonderful people a hand, Maryann and Martin Mburu, and of course, talking from Caritas and Corner Brooke School, focusing on the boy child. Maryann came with also her team, and we'll be speaking to them. They're sitting in the audience looking great as ever. We'll be speaking to them a little bit about fundraising and how you guys can get involved in that. For right now, we take a quick break. We'll be right back after this. Yes. Okay, everybody. I was just reading this. These great guests came bearing gifts. And I love this pamphlet because it says here, no boy chooses to grow up without a dad to look up to, with no man to guide them, with no positive male role models. Yet millions do. We recognize the fact that no boy dreams of going to prison, of abusing drugs or dropping out of school. It just happens. Martin, I know you want to rebut a bit of that, but these statements are very true.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I really don't want to rebut in a bad way.
No, it's okay. You're in a safe space, Martin. I promise.
Thank you.
Yeah.
As a boy child, I feel really
Great.
encouraged.
Okay.
And one thing I must say is that the Pro-Girl Child campaign that has been on, I think, for about 4 decades now, has yielded fruits. And I'm not just about to propose we stop.
Okay.
No, we don't stop. No. In fact, the girl child has not reached probably where you are going. The girl child must be promoted more. The girl child must be given more, whatever support that we want to do that.
Absolutely.
I think the mistake that we did was to forget that the boy child also existed. And we thought because of the situation that was there 40, 50 years ago, the boy child was so far ahead of the girl child. And when we started pushing the girl child ahead, which is correct, then we never did anything for the boy.
Lost a bit of focus.
So over the time, the focus has started yielding, but on the other side, we forgot what the impact of all that was. Even the psychological effect of every time you're hearing there is a new bill, there is a new organization, there is a new Beijing, there is a new Maputo effort, there is a new this. And the boy child is psychologically slowly asking himself, what is in there for me in this world? What is in there for me?
But isn't it, Martin?
You find things, the anti-women violence is all okay. But in fact, there are jokes going around that I can't even touch Maryann. I'll be sued.
Right.
I can't look at a woman in the face. I'll be sued. Why were you're gazing at me? You know, you're sexually harassing me. You know, there's always that. We used to be friends.
Yeah.
What happened to that? So that is what I'm talking about. That effort that was done on the girl child, finally is okay, but girls are starting to feel lonely because they're so far ahead. And this is coming...
We thought that we were going at the same speed.
No, we are not. We are no longer going,
didn't you all think that we were going at the same speed? I'm disappointed to hear that we weren't.
This boy child car was going at 55, you're going at 35.
Okay.
Then this girl child has been increasing. Now I think the girl child car is at about 65.
85,
85 actually.
85.
And you forgot that the boy child also needs to start moving.
True.
Now, what has happened, this exhibits himself or manifests itself in the boy child character in a very big way.
Yeah.
Where I sit, because I sit on some boards and interviewing boards and all that, and when you see people coming for interviews, the confidence level of these two people is totally immeasurable. You cannot compare, it's incomparable.
Wow.
When a girl is going for an interview, they've been taught the confidence. It's all about you. Don't you worry. You probably get the job anyway, but they prepare. And they'll come for the interview on time, smartly dressed, with all the details, with files bound together, with copies to give to the audience, and a boy child will just land. I'm interviewing for a CPA 3, 5-year experience, and whatever else you have. And the girl will come and, even before she sits down, she's already welcomed yourself, you know, and says, thank you very much for inviting me. This place looks so nice. Thank you for having me here. May God bless you.
Yeah.
And the boy child just comes and happens and sits down and waits for the questions. And then you say, where are your documents? You ask for CPA 3, here it is. Do you have any other certificates of leadership or anything? She said, there's one I did at Strathmore. But sorry, I didn't come with it. Why did you come with it? You know, all those kind of things are coming up now.
It's really in the detail.
In the detail.
Yeah.
Now, these are the small little areas we are training the boys on and telling them to remember the competition is still there. And we also want, when we say men have neglected, it's not really neglected. As I said earlier, maybe they haven't brought up to speed also on what to do with the boy child. Because a lot of them are suffering the same way their sons are suffering. So we now need to not disengage on the girls. Let's go on. But we need a specific effort from the government, from the relevant ministries, to now say, we also have the boys here, what do we do with them? Jokes run about saying, when you talk about the Ministry of Youth and Gender, you're talking about Ministry of Women.
Yeah, it's true.
When you're talking about economic facilities for the youth and women, where are the boys? When a boy leaves the circle of youth at 35, he becomes a man, and there is nothing for a man. And may I mention something in finishing here?
Sure.
It is illegal for any financial institution to have specifically designed borrowing, loaning facilities for women. that is discriminatory.
It's not illegal,
Somebody should take that very far. It should be everything. But when you ask Maryann about her microfinance, she says it is true.
Hey.
70%
My needs
of the
and your needs are so different. So different. My needs and your needs are so different.
So this is a big one.
It's a big one. Let me tell you, this will take a whole week for us to cover this topic. But you know what? This is headed in the right direction. Caritas has launched this amazing program.
I love what they're doing.
Absolutely, which speaks volumes about where we are. You came with your team, Maryann. They're sitting right there. Yes. Hi, guys. How are ya? I know one of you has a microphone. Fundraising? Let's talk a little bit about that. Talk to me about fundraising for this particular project.
It must be a boy child, isn't it?
No, it's a girl child. Oh, no. It's a girl child. And then she's going to give it. Yeah. Tell us your name and what you do.
My name is Susan Kanini. Susan Kanini, I'm the fundraising coordinator at Caritas Nairobi.
Okay.
Yeah, we launched this program. There was a big launch at the 8th of December. We had a function at Upper Hill where we invited very many men.
Yes.
And you were there, Martin.
That was great.
The hall was full of men.
Was great,
yes. So it's a program that's going to run for several years.
Okay.
And we will need support to run this program. And so we've been trying to raise money from the corporates, but we also inviting individuals to also give. No matter how much little you are going to fund us with, it is going to be of big help for these activities that we are running for the boys.
Okay.
Yeah. So we have a website, a Caritas Nairobi website. We have a Twitter page. We have a Facebook. So when you go there, you'll see all the information together with the pay bill numbers.
People to engage and participate.
Yes, please.
And interact with this. There's no point in having if Kenyans are not engaging.
Yes. Exactly. Yeah. So Twitter, talk to us, whatever support you want to give, whether monetary, you can also come and volunteer.
Okay.
These boys need mentors. So we're asking other men, even in corporates, in churches, everywhere at the workplace, come and help us mentor these boys. Okay. So we have boys who are even students. As you're giving them internships, give them mentorship when they are still at the workplace so you can avoid those problems that Martin is talking about.
Good stuff. Yeah. Good stuff. Well said. All right. Can I speak to the gentleman next to you, please? Yeah, it's important. We create balance around here today. Wonderful. Hi, how are you, sir?
I'm good, thank you.
Excellent. Tell me your name and what you do, please.
Okay, my name is Jimmy Karanja.
Okay.
And I'm not in fundraising, but what we are doing, the Catholic Church, Archdiocese of Nairobi, and Caritas have come up with a program called SDP. This is Social Development Programs. And this is now targeting the empowerment of boys under the Catholic Men Association. Okay. And the chairman of our local parish, St. Joseph Kahaskari. And from my background in career, dealing with persons with disabilities, I would also like to say that the boy child with a disability is even more actually kind of lacking the opportunities that actually need to be there for them. We know boys are more affected by disabilities. A case example is autism, which I'm very passionate about, where we find out of every 4 boys with autism, is only 1 girl. So there are more persons, boys there, who are also suffering from some of these challenges.
True.
And they really actually need the intervention. More opportunities. As much as girls are getting those opportunities, boys, we need to understand that they also need more opportunities because they're actually more affected. And this is scientifically proven.
It's true, absolutely it is. And still researchers have not been able to find why, especially for boys. Speaking about communication, of course, and y'all, you should see how this audience has been erupting. They're acting really nice right now. But when we're on a break, they're making noise. They're like, no, Kobi. Han, talk to me about, I guess, the national conversation. These young men here, they're not happy. Men are feeling disenfranchised. What do we do?
I'm Millicent Kamau, communications officer at Caritas Nairobi. Now, just to say what Maryann said, I do not want to use the word the boy child has been neglected.
Yeah.
However, there is an issue, okay? We've been working with several partners during the project. One of the partners is a Sumbi Rehab Center.
Yeah.
And the director, during one of our interactions, said, there's an influx of boys in these centers, okay? And the age has shifted from 35 initially to as young as 13 years.
Really?
Yeah. So indeed, there's a problem.
Okay.
Okay? And it's there, really. The boy child is lagging behind.
Got it.
Yes.
Okay.
The Beacon Boys project is all about transforming the boy child into a responsible man.
You know, the funny thing, we don't talk about, I guess, when there were pioneers, women who were pushing the girl child agenda many years ago, 60 years ago, who might not even be here today to see some of the fruits of their labor. And this is the effort that's happening here today for men and for boys. It is all well and good to do something this amazing. It's all great to have a good school that's doing this. But if there's no participation from the family unit, from schools such as this one, right, from the church and the congregation, then it's really null.
How do the men themselves?
From the men themselves, and in terms of mentorship and in terms of really digging in, how do we begin to culturally change and mentally shift the way it's always been to something new? Martin?
I think one of the things I must say is to commend the Archdiocese of Nairobi and Caritas themselves. Thank you very much for the effort that they are doing.
Yeah.
And it's time we brought out the big elephant in the room and discuss it. And
chop it up and everything and dissect it and do whatever needs to be done.
And this, as they note, this is not going to be a short-term project. This is going to be a long haul. I was looking at something, the very early efforts of this girl child, something like Maendeleo Wanawake. And many people think Maendeleo Wanawake is a 1980s thing, a 1970s thing. It's actually a 1950s thing in terms of formation.
True.
It's been a long-term effort in this.
Absolutely.
So for the men to know this, it's going to be something that is starting slowly by the Caritas. It's a fire that has to burn and burn the whole forest. Luckily, the ones I've spoken to, there's a form that we fill at after every talk, and I say, write some areas of action for yourself. What will you do for your family? Because this starts how you behave with your wife.
Absolutely.
You know, there's this thing that men should not show love. Men are not weak.
And
men are not emotional. Men are not emotional.
Yeah, they do.
And when you start showing that, like your hard man in the house, that's how the boy grows to know. Men must relax.
Absolutely.
And become the leaders of the family as they're supposed to be, and love their families and bring them up properly. Men must show the way forward for their children. There's something I came up across. It's not only men being absent, there are also other roles of men. Like every Catholic boy who is baptized has a godfather. Even those godfathers have gone absent.
Yeah.
You know, even those godfathers. But
and
also,
you're not just supposed to show up
but
during an emergency or a birthday.
I may say something in defense of the men. A lot of the godfathers are selected by their mothers.
No, you know, well, what I'm hearing
So
about
they
there's
go
always
for,
a
you know,
pastoral.
there's a story.
Martin, yeah.
You know, they go, and then they choose stylish people and all that. And that's not somebody. When you're choosing a godfather for your son, these are serious persons. These are serious responsibility in the Catholic Church. And I think in any church, this is somebody you're going to walk with for life. In childhood, in school, in marriage, in whatever situation.
Okay.
So I want to call upon the men to feel participatory. This is our life. These children are ours. Let us see our reflection in them.
Fantastic. Give Martin a hand. Very well said, Martin. Before we take a quick break, I think, Maryann, it's important to give a conclusion of how Kenyans can participate in this program. If there's somebody across the country who's doing something like this who would like to partner, and what is required to scale this up and take it to the next level?
Okay. I think the last part is quite exciting.
Good.
Because hearing what Martin is saying tells you the passion that is coming out of many men.
He's so passionate, it's wonderful.
Yes, and it's a positive. And even listening to what the audience was saying earlier on, you can tell that everybody is aware that something needs to be done. And so I would really call upon men, because their absence is felt. Yeah. Their absence is so loud. And this is what is affecting the boy child. Men are now coming on board. And every day I hear them asking. In fact, they used to ask, why did the Catholic Church decide on a woman to lead the gender program?
Yeah.
They should have looked for a man. And then you're thinking, these men are not even in church,
right.
you know?
Thank you.
When they're in church, they're not speaking.
Yes.
And then later on, they're like, yeah, they were actually right. We needed somebody to provoke us. Yes. And so we are seeing a lot of activity.
Good.
Since we started this program, men are demanding, come, tell us about it. come and show us how to
willing.
start.
Yeah.
And they are willing. That's a positive.
Absolutely.
And I'd like to say that men will become the change agents, not the women. Men only are the ones who are going to change this very bad situation as it is right now.
It's true.
Because when boys see their fathers do certain things, then they're bound to follow. I like what one of our churches is doing, Queen of Apostles. And they have what they call father-son Sundays.
Yeah.
And during those Sundays, they are there with their sons.
That's nice.
And they do a lot of things. They play together. Can you imagine a man playing with his
Fantastic,
son?
yeah.
And that's a beautiful thing.
And that's spending time and quality time and
yes.
values, and those things go a long way in terms of that young man's formation, mental formation.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there are other churches that are also doing small activities with the boys. These are the people we are inviting. Come, let us enrich what you're doing and come feed the program with what you're doing so that we can all come together, share experiences, bring our boys together so that they start seeing value in life and they'll become excited. We'll stop seeing those things he's talking about. You know, we are going for
you know
interviews.
what? The complaints will end. The complaints will end and the conversation. We have to take a break. We've run out of time very quickly.
Very quickly. I was in one of those sessions and I was talking to the fathers and sons. And at one point, the MC wanted the people to introduce themselves. And he asked the fathers to introduce the sons.
That's nice.
And every time the father stood up, the son stood up. What amazed me, Maryann, is every time a father stood up, the boy lit up. That's my father. That is my dad talking. That's my dad talking. Can you talk more? You know, they adore them. Fathers, give your sons more of these opportunities.
Absolutely. True. Give these guys a hand, y'all. So awesome. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much for being here, the team from Caritas. Let us participate in this amazing program. And listen, life has its twists and turns. Not all young men have male figures in their lives. Not all young men have fathers. But listen, if you are a man and you have mentorship skills, if you have advice to give, you can become a big brother. You can become a dad. You can reach out. There's so much you can do. Log on to our social media platforms where we will connect you to Caritas and their amazing team with this great Beacon of Hope project, and of course Corner Brooke School, all right? And you can go there and visit these young men and perhaps give them a talk as well, and Martin will be there to facilitate that for you. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much, everybody. All right,
Thank you.
So now we're switching focus and gears a little bit. I don't know if Martin's gonna be happy about this. Valentine is here. She's a girl. She's been nominated for Top 40 Under 40 by Business Daily. She's got a great fashion line focusing on the plus-size woman. She's going to be showcasing in just a little bit. We'll be right back after this. Thank you so much. Thank you.